Hello, happy people. I hope you are having just an absolutely amazing day today. And if not, it'll be one of the best you've ever had. And that sort of a thing. Alrighty, and there we are. On Module Monday, where I do reviews of older things in the science, in the first edition of like Dungeons & Dragons, that's all, sometimes in second edition stuff, or some things in Dungeons & Dragons world, or on the Battletech side of things too. I like to sometimes get involved with that sort of thing. So right now I started doing some module reviews after giving you my top 70 modules and then some Battletech stuff too. And that sort of thing. I recently did the top 7 module series, the top 1 overall, and that was all the same plot against the Giants. And then you delve into the Drow and introduce the Drow into the Underdark and that sort of thing. I finished up with Q1 by Gary Gygax. Very popular stuff, loved it lots. So I did that. And that sort of thing. I've done, recently things like B2, Keep on the Borderlands by Gary Gygax, or B1, and that sort of thing. So I thought it'd be fun for me to do today. We started doing all the B series. Last week I took a week off to do the Pool of Radiance, because it was Pool of Radiance week. And I did the novel on Tuesday and the video game on Wednesday. So I did that module, Ruins of Adventure for me. But now we're back to B5 and so forth. Alright, so B5 is from 1983. It's B5 and that sort of thing. Alright, so it's called Horror on the Hill. So just as a reminder, my BECMI was the first dungeon I played. In Dungeons & Dragons version, and the basic set, and that sort of thing. When I was a kid in 5th grade, I had a player. I had a best friend in 5th grade, and that sort of thing. We both were in gifted program, so we finished things very, very early. Our class work, and the teacher would let us hang out in the back while everybody else was finishing up the work. And we would play Dungeons & Dragons, the In Search of an Adventure one. And that sort of thing. And he was the general manager, the dungeon master. Now I was the player. So we played that then too, and so forth. And there, it's not called Horror on the Hill. It's called Hobgoblin King, although it still has its 3 levels and that sort of thing. And it removes some of the outdoor stuff and cash to get you down to the page count and that sort of thing. All right, so I played that there as a player with 40 folks. And then again, back to basics. BECMI stands for, the basic set stands for the B set and the base set, and that's basically all about learning the game and also putting your foot forward with things like dungeon exploring and that sort of thing. So it's all about dungeon development, and that's that sort of thing. The E BECMI stands, its module series begin with X. It stands for expert and exploration. And that sort of thing. So that's that one, and that sort of thing. That one was, it takes you about the mid-teens, and that sort of thing, and it'll take you all up in the box. There, you're doing things like the X1 and X2 that I've reviewed for folks by Tom Wolfman, classics, like Castle Lambert, such like that. So you check them out too. And then also, the C stands for companion. It's from the mid-teens all the way up to the mid-20s. And that sort of thing. Those series start off with the CM, and those are basically all about, you've now gotten to the point where now you're going to settle down and start to run something like a barony or a duchy or a kingdom, and then you're going to lead armies in battle as a general. So that's what the C stands for. The M stands for master. Those modules begin with the M. Those are all about, you've gotten to the higher level points, so you're not chasing immortality or just going to other planes of existence where things are a little bit harder. And then the last one, I, is obviously the immortality, where you're more kind of like demigods that you've searched for and actually has succeeded. So that's what the I stands for. Alright, so this is set in my star, the plane of existence that all that B3, B4, and B2 are into. And then other things too. It's by Douglas Niles, and the cover art is Jim Roslof, and the interior art is by another Jim Holloway. Alright, so this 32 pages long. No background, it's all stuff. There's no background here at all. It's all stuff you need, and that sort of thing. Also, there's no onboarding on it too. Right? There's no like In Search of the Unknown, B1 or B2, Keep on the Borderlands, were sold in the basic set. So those also had 1332 pages and that sort of thing, but those had a lot of background information as well as information on how to on board. As well as B3 had some of that stuff too. Palace of the Silver Princess by Jim Roslof. It was strong stuff there too, as you were doing those sorts of things. She actually went out and did some research and had some empty rooms and that sort of thing. Just like, in order to make it get on board too, and even before had some onboarding too, right? And entire levels that weren't. You could flesh out and such as a dungeon master and just learn those skills, but there's none of that here. It's just all 32 pages of strong stuff to fill. All right, so you'll arrive at a place called Ida's Fort. It's right there on the river, and there the whore on the hill. The hill proper is a volcanic island, and that sort of thing. So there are tons of baddies. You will encounter like hobgoblins and so forth, but just like in a video game, there are various save points which will help you make it a little bit easier. Where folks, we can go and heal up or drink fountains and get healed out and that sort of thing. You will need to rest a lot to do frontal, and you cannot do a frontal assault here either. This is all about just wearing them down, the hobgoblins, and that sort of thing, wearing them down over time in order to get them to a place where you can handle them, right? So this is a grind fest. Like I mentioned before, you will need to learn tactics all the time. All right. It can be a bit hard for new players and DMs. Like I mentioned before, there's no onboarding. And there's not anything adding new to the genre either. It's just the dungeon delve. It's not adding something new. It doesn't have something new to say. Right? There aren't any new scares. Nothing like that. But Niles' reputation for having a hard and sometimes above the level in order to take him out is here too. And there's some surprising things that are going to happen as a result. Niles does a good job at the by the numbers, but it's really more of a by the numbers. So I'm giving it an 8 out of 10 for you folks, but your mileage may totally vary, right? And that's sort of thing. But there you go. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and that sort of thing. Did you run it as a dungeon master? Did you play it as a player like I did? I've also got a copy of it too. I've read it a couple of times, so I haven't run it as a dungeon master. All right, so there you are. But what are your thoughts about it? That sort of thing. And let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below too. Right, just try to keep it spoiler free. For example, I didn't give away some of the spoiler secrets at the end. Just try to keep it spoiler free for that too. All right, and then let me know what your thoughts and if you agree or disagree with my how to lose it. Just let us know your opinion. Your opinion is just as valid as mine. Like I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of these older reviews on Monday from L2, the Assassins Not Classics, or L1, the Secret of Bud Hill, stuff like that too, in the Great Hawk universe. And that's lots. So please check those out. And like I mentioned earlier, on Wednesday, I do something called Video Game Wednesday, where I do reviews of older video games and that sort of thing. Last couple of weeks I've been doing RPGs from the 90s. I just recently did Planescape Torment. Actually, full of ratings from 88, but you get the idea. So this week, next few weeks, we're doing the Baldur's Gate trilogy. I thought that would be fun for you all, so check that out. And then also, I just do older things. I've recently done the movies from 2005, a movie sim game where and Evil Genius 1. I've done Heroes of Might and Magic 3 from 99. You get the ideas. All those older things. And then on Friday, I like to do some top 10s. I recently did my top 10. I ranked on my Star Wars films and that sort of thing that were not animated and were theatrical. So not like the Clone Wars one or the live action ones on TV, like the holiday special and that sort of thing. They had to be theatrical releases. So check those out too. And also tons of top 10s. I've recently done a top 10, three comic things. I did my top 10 comics, my top 10 miniseries, my top 10 authors. Also recently did top 10 music things too, my top 10 musical artists and albums. Then my top 10 board games too. Tons of movies too. This week I'm going to be ranking all the Star Trek shows that are out there that I like too. So if you like that, you'll appreciate that too. So check out those two. On Saturday, I do something called Serial Saturday, where I dedicate to the forgotten storytelling genre. And that sort of a thing. So the idea here is we have sort of, it's heavily influential. We watched it for decades. We really sort of sold seats. But the movies and TV serials are sort of a forgotten genre, like Buck Rogers or the Tarzan ones, or Flash Gordon, those sorts of things, right? Heavily influential stuff today. I've also seen The Spider's Web, and I just watched, I finished actually today, on Sunday when I'm recording this about an hour ago. I just finished this about 4 hours and a half or so. It's a 15 episode, 1 from 39. It's called The Flying Jeep. So check this out. Also recently did the one on the Canadian Mounties versus the Atomic Invaders and that sort of thing. So I think you'll check it out. I think you'll like this. Alrighty, and there you are. So that, and then the other 3 days of the week I do older reviews of things that you read, like novels or short stories, novellas too, as well as poems, occasionally and prose poems too, by Christian Smith typically, who was heavily influential on Dungeons & Dragons, so that sort of thing. And so if you like those 7 older reviews of video games or modules or books and such, definitely welcome to the channel. I really hope you all appreciate it. Have a seat, right? Please do all of the YouTube stuff, like hit the subscribe button, the like button, the icon to notify your videos every day, the likes and such, share, and that sort of thing. Basically just watch and share. Those are the key ways of growing the channel. Alright, and so as you can tell from all those older things, it's also the passion of this channel, right? It's also where the name comes from too. We're saying about new books. It's a quote by a 19th century philosopher named Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about them was they kept us from reading the old ones, right? And it's definitely some more stuff out there. We might forget. Not that the new things are new or bad, right? But just in our pursuit of the new video game, the new movie, the new novel, right? In our passion for the new, we've sometimes forgotten how great some of the older things are. That's the English source of giants. So let's go out and check those giants too, right? Not lots. For those reasons. Also, it's my number one strength is context, right? So, for example, I appreciate something more the more I know about that, right? So, for example, in your guide's first edition of Dungeons & Dragons, of his AD&D, there's an appendix N where he lists all the influences, right? So I like to go back and read those influences and check them out, and then I appreciate all that, his work more. It makes sense? Alright, so if you're like that too, definitely you check and do all the YouTube stuff too. And there you are. Finally, I just want to thank you, so very, very much just for taking some time out of your day and investing it, right, and watching my videos, because we all have so many things, right, that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it once again. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.